is. Is it on?
Yeah.
It's a Zenith model 8A02, yes? I don't know. Well, hey, we're down at Timeless Arts Refinishing in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We got this Zenith radio here that we have gotten stripped down. The thing has a lot of photo finish on it, so we had masked that off and stripped the cabinet. So you see the photo finish is left in here, all up in here. And as right now I'm getting ready to prep it. Sorry, I'm not sure what model number this is. So anyhow, I've kind of sanded this side by hand, but now I'm going to show you how I hot patch it. Here's a little chunk missing right there.
Let me see. Okay, I see it.
So you can putty this in if you'd like to. Just depends on how you want to do it. An epoxy putty works really good.
Well, that's a lacquer stick, right?
Yeah, this is a lacquer stick right here, a patching stick. They use these in the furniture factories. You just kind of melt it in there. The epoxy putty really works good as well. I enjoy that epoxy putty. I use that all the time when I want to form something. If you got something that's rounded or a broken leg that's rounded. So basically, yeah, so we just kind of melt that in there and just kind of now this lacquer stick here is actually used in a furniture factory, and it's used a lot for finish patching too. Finish patching is where you a touch-up guy would come around and patch a ding or a dent on a piece of furniture before it leaves, or just somebody servicing furniture would use that to do touch-up work. So now I'm just kind of sanding it with some 80 grit because it takes it down quick, and then I'm going to cross with a, can't even tell where it was hardly, can you?
No.
Then I'm going to go over it with my 180, just kind of sand this up here. I'm not so worried about the water staying in that because this thing gets toned. It's going to be toned dark down there, so you're never going to see that water stain. But if it was up in the cabinet here, I'd be more concerned about, you know, taking it out.
What would you take it out with?
I would sand the piss out of it, and then I'd use some oxalic acid
on
it several times until it's gone.
Oh.
So yeah, so there you go. That's kind of. And there's a little spot right here where somebody had played around with patching a piece of veneer in there. I'm just going to melt a little. Somebody put a patch in there and it was high.
Oh.
So I just sanded it down, but you still see a little bit of the ridge in there.
Mm.
That. The thing's gonna need a little glue work too, I can feel that. I'll take my trusty 80 and there's that. And I'm gonna flip this baby up. Just like that. And I got a little foam block and Got my 80 grit right here. Just got it scuff around here. The thing's been stripped. Right now we're starting to do the sanding and repair work on it. Looks like it needs some little repairing here and there too on a few things. I start to sand around the radius right here. That's when I get a kick out of these people that want to try and talk about refinishing over the top of the old finish. One of the biggest problems with this radio is that this grain has all raised. It just got old and it raised up, and so you know, when it lifts up, well then that means that the finish starts to break up too. And you know, so if it's lifting off the wood and you go over the top of it, it's just not going to look any good, and it's not even going to hold.
No.
It's just a cheap cosmetic way of trying to finish something over the top. It's a lazy way of finishing something. I guess I could recommend doing that if it's yours, and that's the best you can do. But if you're sending something in to have refinished, you really need to have it taken down the raw wood and sanded. And yes, we're going over the photo finish like that, but at the same token, to take that photo finish off and put all that back on would cost the customer a whole lot more money than he's willing to spend. So that's a very small part of the radio compared to the rest of the cabinet that it is getting properly finished. So, and we can put that photo finish back on between Sandy and myself.
But we don't have to on this one,
No, we don't
because it's
have
in
to.
good shape, right?
Yeah, it's not bad shape. It'll look nice when we're done doctoring it up, but
Yeah.
the cabinet itself, yeah, you should always take the cabinet down. So, there we got two sides of it right there. Let's take a look at the top here. Okay, we got a little chip right there. And we can veneer it. But today I'm going to hot patch it. I can hot patch that and color that in and fake that grain in there. It will look just as nice. Just put that on there and melt that in there. Just kind of letting that set for a second. Looks like it might need a little bit more. And like I said, this is the same technique that any professional on-site furniture touch-up guy would be using. Every furniture factory has one of them in it. The patching iron. You can purchase one at, oh, what are they called? Mohawk Finishing Products would have one if you'd like one. Then after you get done with that, you just kind of sand it smooth. Kind of like doing auto body. There, take a look at that patch now, Sandra Lynn. That's it.
Yep. Looks perfect.
Didn't I use my sander here?
Yep.
So